Hi, fourth graders. Today we're going to pick up right where we left off in the classroom with fractions. So today we're going to add and subtract two fractions with the same unit and then also subtract from one whole. So a quick warm-up is we're going to think about what are all the different units that can represent one whole, or fractions that can represent one whole. So remember, one whole just means I have the same amount of pieces as my pieces total. Okay, so one whole could be represented as 8/8, could also be represented as 4/4. It could be represented as 2 halves. It could be represented as 12ths, so 12/12. Okay, one way that it could not be represented is we could not say one whole is equal to 4/5. Why is that? Because we don't have all of our total pieces. We only have 4 out of 5. So one whole would not equal 4/5 or any other fraction that looked like this. All right, that's our quick warm-up before we start our lesson. Okay, our first problem, we are going to subtract from a whole. So I'm going to write this equation, and go ahead and write this down with you. You're going to want to have scratch paper as you follow along, just like we would in class with whiteboards. So 1 whole minus 3/8 equals what? We can also rewrite any subtraction problem as an addition problem. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this as 3/8 plus something is going to give me 1 whole. Okay, so I can think about if my unit is 8ths, okay, how many would I need to make a whole? So I have 3/8 over here. How many more would I need for it to be a complete whole? Well, if I have 3, I can count up 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 5. So if I have 5 more, 3 plus 5 would equal 8. So if I have 3/5, 3/8 plus 5/8, that's going to give me 8/8 or 1 whole. Okay, that's how we would solve it with addition. Let's see how we would solve it with subtraction. Okay, and I'm going to write it over here in blue. So 1 minus 3/8 equals something. So I can change my 1 whole into a fraction. So I need to make it into a fraction that has the same units as this one. So this is 8ths. So I need to change my 1 whole into 8ths. So I can rewrite it down below. 8/8, because that's the same as 1 whole. Now I can subtract minus 3/8. And because our denominators are the same, we can subtract right across. So 8 minus 3 is 5, and my denominator stays the same at 8. So it equals 5/8. Let's see, does that match our answer over here when we did addition? It does. So what I just demonstrated for you is that we can use addition to solve any subtraction equation. Okay, so that's one way we can solve subtracting from a whole, is by using addition, or we can still use subtraction, but we have to convert our whole into the same unit as our other fraction. Alright, we're going to move on. Problem number 2. So go ahead and write this down with me. 1 whole minus 7/12, okay, equals an unknown fraction. Or we can rewrite that as 7/12 plus an unknown fraction equals 1 whole. Okay, so on this one I'm going to show you how to do it using a number line, and we're familiar with a number line because we use that in class. So I'm going to number my number line from 0 to 1. Okay, and my units for my number line are going to be 12ths because that's the unit that they give me in my problem. So this is going to be divided up into 12. So I'm going to go here. Half of 12 is going to be 6/12. That's my halfway point. Okay. So 1/12. 2/12. I'm going to pause the video, fill in my number line, and you do the same. Alright, and so I have my number line completely filled in, all with 12ths as my unit. And so I start off at 0, and it goes up by 1/12 each time, and then at the very end I have my whole, or 12/12. So let's start with this one. 1 whole, so my 1 whole is here, which is at 12/12, minus 7/12. So I can go back 7 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what did I land up on? 5/12. Okay, let's check our work by doing the addition one. 7/12 plus how many is going to give me 1 whole. So let's start at 7/12 now, and let's count how many we add each time to see how many would give us to get to our whole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we went 5/12. Okay, because each one is adding 1/12. So 1/12, 2/12, 3/12, 4/12, 5/12. So 7/12 plus 5/12 is equal 1 whole. And do our answers match? Yes. Okay, and last problem, and then you're all ready for your problem set. So now we're going to use a mixed number. I have 1 and 1/5 minus 2/5. So go ahead and write that fraction down. And what you're going to notice about this problem is that it has a mixed number, or a number that has a value greater than 1. Because if you notice, I have a whole plus extra here. So here's my whole and here's my extra pieces. So the first thing you always want to do is you want to change or convert this mixed number into an improper fraction. So a fraction that has more pieces than its units, okay? So I have 1 whole living inside of this, and my units is fifths. So that would be 5/5 live inside that whole, and then I have my extra 1/5 here. So 5/5 plus 1/5 equals 6/5. Now this is my improper fraction because the top is bigger than the bottom. That just shows me it's greater than 1. Okay, so these two fractions are the same. All right, so I'm going to use this fraction here now. So 6/5 minus 2/5. So now this fraction this equation to solve is a lot easier and prettier to look at than this one here, and that's because we changed our mixed number into an improper fraction. So now I can use any of the strategies I showed you. You can do just simple subtraction, you can use a number line, or you can change this one into an addition equation. So 2/5 plus what is going to equal 6/5. So I'm just going to do simple subtraction. What is 6 minus 2? That's 4. My unit on the bottom stays the same. And now let's use that to check our work with addition. 2/5 plus something is going to equal 6/5. Well, 2 plus something equals 6. Can count on 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 4. My unit stays the same. So these two numbers are the same, and this is my answer. 1 and 1/5 minus 2/5 equals 4/5. All right, that wraps up Module 5, Lesson 17. After you finish watching this video, you can go ahead and complete the assigned problems on your problem set. If you have difficulties, remember you can watch this video again, or you can log on to embark.online and select the video to watch for this lesson.